Thank you for watching today's video. We are going to discuss adding, deleting, hiding, renaming, color coding sheets within an Excel workbook. Before we begin, it's important to note that this data is FERPA compliant. The student IDs are not connected with student last name, and student last name is not connected with first, so this is not identifying data connected to particular students. So as you can see here, here's a spreadsheet. It has student IDs, names, a group, homeroom information, and course ID, just some random data that you may have organized for your students. In your true situation, you might have different information, learning coach names, phone numbers, something like that, but this is just an example. So the first thing that I recommend doing in just about every spreadsheet you use, covered in a previous video, is applying filters so that you have the ability to manipulate and organize your data. So in a workbook, there may be multiple sheets. So you can see a little plus tab to add a sheet down here below. So just to understand what we're talking about, workbook refers to the entire thing that you open up, and then the sheets are within the individual workbook. So on this first sheet, we have all of our student data. So this may be all of your students. So in order to have this properly organized, you might want to rename a sheet. So what I am going to show you is we are going to take our students and we're going to make individual sheets within our workbook to organize our different groups of students. Maybe you have students grouped by instructional level, or you have students grouped by particular progress towards standards or mastery of content, and you want to invite them to targeted instructional sessions based on what they need. So when we're looking at this, we're going to, first, I want to name to keep myself organized so I always know what I'm looking at. I'm going to say all student data, and this is all of my students in my classroom. Very simple. I can just right click there and select rename. So what I want to do is I want to have a separate sheet for each group. So I know I have, let's go back here. So I know I have 3 groups. I can see that if I want to. If I forget how many I have for some reason, you can click on this drop down filter and see information. So I need to make 3 additional sheets. So I will name these group 1. And again, I'm just right clicking and selecting rename group 2. And we're going to create one more with this little plus button. And we're going to rename it so sheet 4 doesn't confuse me when it's group 3, right? And so then we are going to have all of this information. So let's say I accidentally click this button too many times here, and I've got this sheet here that I don't need, sheet 5. Very simple to get rid of it, just for reference. The same way that you can rename it, you can also delete it. Now be careful, because Excel usually gives you a warning. Once you delete a sheet, you cannot get it back. Oh, probably because there is no data in it. So just put something in there. If you delete this, it will prompt you. This isn't something that you can get back. So you'll delete it and that goes away. But once you have your student data here, now maybe you want to go ahead and we want to put our group 1 students into their own little worksheet here. So what you'll do is you'll sort with using your filter here. I'm sorry, you will filter group 1. And then you have a couple options, but you can highlight in this corner up here. If you click here, it highlights the entire spreadsheet so that you don't miss anything. You can also go ahead and just copy this part that you want. Either is an option. And I went a little too far, but that's all right because it will be highlighted. What I need will be highlighted. I can right click and select copy. You can also use your shortcuts, Control C, and it will copy just the items that you have sorted. It will not copy the hidden items. So if you're worried that you're using filters and you shouldn't be, remember, you can always clear filters, but we don't want to do that. We want this information that we selected to copy, and you can either use your shortcuts or you can right click. And here is all of your just group 1. And you see the filters are gone, and you may want to adjust these column by clicking here and pulling over so that you can see everything that's in the column. Make adjustments to that as you need to. You can go ahead and do the same thing for group 2, so on and so forth. So I'm sure you understand the concept. I won't make you watch me do all 3 groups. And you can rewind if you want to see that again as well. So let's say you have your groups here, and for some reason you like to be a little fun and you want to color them. Or if there's a sheet that is really important that you're sharing this with other people and you want it to jump out to them, you can also color for that. So for example, we want to make this tab yellow. So again, as you just saw, you can right click on any tab and choose tab color. And you can have some fun, and maybe there's not a color you want on there, and you can click up here for this pretty pink color, whatever it may be. And then this just kind of, there may be a reason that this would help you stay organized or just make things jump out at you a little bit better, or others that you may be sharing this with. Now, let's say you have all your groups, and then you say, well, I don't need this all student data, but I don't want to delete it, but it doesn't need to go out to everybody. Maybe there's extra information in there that not everybody needs to see. You can delete that. But if for you, you don't need it and you have too many and you don't need them to all show up here, you can also right click this and you can hide the sheet. So it's gone, but it's not really gone because you can right click any of these others and click unhide, and it lets you select. So if you have multiple, they'd show up here, and you click OK, and there it is right back for you. So this is ways that you can organize your spreadsheet so that you can break apart your data and just have certain things in certain places. Sometimes data is very overwhelming. There's many different pieces and things that we're looking at that we do and don't need at different times. So this allows you to break things down into a way that makes sense to your mind and maybe to others as you're sharing this information. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, reach out and have a great day.